Hi, Greenhouse. Today I want to talk about the discipline of detachment, and it's a practice. I think it gives word to a practice that many of us have done as followers of Jesus, and that is replacing attachments or places where attachments have crept in of worldly things and worldly values with a wholehearted attachment to God alone. And I think places that particularly can be tempting to creep in are just self-serving goals, desire and for success, money, power, image, productivity. There's so many things that can creep in and get ahead or become the most important in our lives. And so I want to read a verse from Mark 8:34 and 35, and I'm reading it in the Message because I find it particularly challenging and powerful. Anyone who intends to come after me has to let me lead. You're not in the driver's seat, I am. Don't run from suffering, embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to saving your true self. And so we see Jesus as a great example of not being shaped by his culture. He even is willing to exchange heaven for the human limitations. And in many church traditions, there's a liturgy, or this is spoken in their liturgy, like the things that they do every week in their service. And that is Christ has died, Christ has risen, Christ has come again, or Christ will come again. And that's helpful to me because it's a pattern for our lives, a transformation pattern that we're called to die to ourselves, to die to worldly things, and to rise again in Jesus. And as we get in that rhythm of confession, of forgiveness, of being freed up and rising again, we become to be able to be free and more victorious in our regular daily walks with Jesus. And so we need the Holy Spirit to reveal those things that are influencing us and creeping in. And they're so easy for them to creep in and not realize it. I noticed that with having kids, like it's so easy for me to want what's best for them and then jump back in that control or that driver's seat of fixing things that are problems instead of trusting God with them or going to him first with them. I see that in challenges with health. When I'm struggling with the chronic illness that I have, particularly, I am challenged internally, just a sense of it's unfair and just so many feelings that turn away from God's ways, and because I want to control it. It feels out of control. And so this ability to begin to detach from that and release it to him has been so freeing for me, sort of like that verse I shared this past weekend of delighting yourself in the Lord. He'll give you the desires of your heart. As we align ourselves and choose God's ways, he begins to change us. And sometimes he relieves the thing that's really hard, and sometimes he changes us and makes us stronger or gives us insight to be able to bear them. So this week, I would challenge you to choose a couple possible practices to try out. And just one was just asking, where do I need Jesus' help? Where do I need a spirit of detachment? Holy Spirit, will you show me where, give me the grace to see where I'm stuck, where things have crept in, or where something else is driving me besides you. And where ask for the grace to pray, not my will, but yours be done, God. And have a conversation with God about it. Possibly write those things out or journal them. A second practice that can help with working toward detachment is giving something away that you're attached to. That could be time, could be money, it could be possessions. And notice the feelings that rise up when you're thinking about giving something away. And talk to God about that. And have a conversation with him. He can handle our conversations, our hard thoughts, our hard choices, and he wants us to bring those to him. And so we can come and ask him, Lord, it's important for us to be able to say, I see where I'm attached to something else, and I don't know how to get out of it sometimes. And I need your help, and I need healing, Lord. And we can also ask for that in community, because this is a community that we want to be safe for each other. To be honest, we all have fallen into an attachment to something that isn't God's heart, God's first thing. And so We want to be able to go to each other and say, I'm stuck here. I need prayer. I need help. I need you to hold me accountable. And this is a place where you can do that. A great place to do that is with your half room people, with your neighborhood church people. Reach out. Don't stay alone and isolated in a place that feels stuck. So I just invite you to practice the discipline with me this week of detachment and asking God, what is your will? And would you give me the strength of heart to choose it and to follow it and release me from everything else?